Lucid dreaming is an interesting topic. From self-discovery to ascension, lucid dreaming has been used by hundreds of thousands of individuals for thousands of purposes. Lucid dreaming is versatile, being only limited by your own imagination. You can do anything from talk to your truest self to silencing that yipping dog that lives across the way. The oldest document we have with a textual description dates back to around 1000 BC in a book called the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This text later influenced scholars of the 1900s. Among Western philosophers, dreams held a lofty position. They provided a window to question the realities of daily life. Among the philosophers, Aristotle is one of the first to give a concise, non-vague reference to lucid dreaming. In his exposition on dreams, aptly titled On Dreams, Aristotle writes, "When one is asleep, there is something in consciousness which tells us that what presents itself is but a dream." This is a pretty concise definition of a lucid dream, and there is little room for interpretation on what Aristotle was speaking of. During the Middle Ages, Thomas Aquinas, an Italian philosopher, suggested that some dreams came from demons. This misconception had repercussions that echo to this day. Many people of the Christian faith still associate lucid dreaming with Satanism and/or witchcraft. Dreams were sometimes called the playgrounds of witches and demons. In the 17th century, lucid dreams began to surface again, especially in Europe. People started to put away their antiquated superstitions and look towards the meanings of dreams again. Pierre Gassendi and Thomas Reid were two men who spoke of being able to think and question things to lifelike levels in their dreams. Even still, they often spoke little of dreams due to pressure by the church. During the 20th century, a renewed interest in Indigenous peoples and traditional societies sprang up. With this flood of anthropological studies came bizarre stories and images of trance states, sorcery and zombies. The once lost practice of lucid dreaming had been rediscovered through traditional culture and was about to grow more broad than ever before. During the 60s, humanism and transcendentalism were more common than they were previously. The practice of lucid dreaming was revived by this time, many believing that lucid dreaming was a vehicle to talking to one's true self and being able to help answer difficult questions of life. Many others would use lucid dreaming for what many saw as more practical reasons. Others would use lucid dreaming to build muscle memory for skills in real life, improved handwriting, greater proficiency in a sport, etc. In this tolerant cultural climate, two books were published that set the stage for 20th century lucid dreaming. Celia Green's study of lucid dreaming was published in 1968, titled Lucid Dreaming: The Paradox of Consciousness During Sleep. And 1 year later, Charles Tart compounded the popular interest in lucid dreaming by publishing his highly influential Altered States of Consciousness. It contained the essay of Frederick Van Eden, the man who may have been responsible for coining the term lucid dream. Inspired by these dreaming pioneers, Stephen LaBerge began researching lucid dreaming for his PhD in psychophysiology at Stanford University, which he received in 1980. LaBerge developed techniques to enable himself and other researchers to enter the lucid state at will, most notably, the mild technique. In 1987, he founded the Lucidity Institute, an organization that promotes research into lucid dreaming, as well as running courses for the general public on how to achieve a lucid dream. In the late 1980s, many people were still reluctant to believe in something as fantastical as lucid dreaming. LaBerge ran a test in which he told a subject to perform a certain series of eye movements while in a lucid dream. These eye movements translated to real life, proving that lucid dreaming is real.